Updates! Again. Last video I talked about the worst of the worst when it comes to TF2 updates. So what could be better than talking about the good updates? Let's chat. Welcome back to the channel, Mercenaries. I'm your host, Nigus Overlord, and today we'll be covering the best TF2 updates ever. But first, a little update. You may remember this poll I had posted a while ago. Now don't worry, I'm still going to be doing that Meet the Sniper Bot animation, but I've challenged myself to do it entirely in Blender from scratch. As you can imagine, it's not very easy, so it's definitely going to be a while before I release this one. As such, I want to at least fill the gap with some other vids so that I'm not gone for like 3 months again or something. Also, thank you all so much for getting us over 1,000 subs.
Holy Mary Mother of Joseph!
But anyway, let's dive right into the video. Love and War. Ah, nostalgia. The golden years. I still remember the days back when this update first dropped. This update was released back in 2014 and dropped alongside a 15-minute long short film that you all may have heard of, Expiration Date. Love and War added most of the classic taunts we know today, as well as allowing you to taunt with the enemy team, a bunch of decent to god tier weapons, a whole bunch of achievements, some silly reskins with unique effects and animations, 43 new cosmetics, stockpile crates where you could select what you get out of them rather than praying to RNGesus, a bunch of quality of life changes, a few small balance changes and weapon updates, plenty of much needed bug and map fixes, and much more. Now this is an update, especially compared to what we get nowadays. But, while I embrace the nostalgia, I'm not blinded by it. This update did have some problems. Remember how the Demoman's bottle and some other weapons had to be fixed to break again in Jungle Inferno? Yeah, well, you can thank this update for that. Just for the fact that the Backscatter and the Classic are, pretty shitty weapons. Not to mention a bunch of bugs that I definitely remember from this update. Ah, good times. The War update! Now this update was a week-long campaign that not only provided class updates and lore for Soldier and Demoman, but also brought the community together in a way that no other update before or since has managed to do. On the first day of the update, we got one of the first official TF2 comics explaining the premise of the update as well as some important lore about Soldier and Demoman. Next was a class vote like what we got between Heavy and Pyro during Meet Your Match, except, you know, it actually meant something during this one. You could vote to support either Soldier or Demoman, and whichever side got the most kills on the other would win. The kicker here is that both classes got incredible new weapons during the update. We didn't have to wait for the vote to end first, and then for Valve to get off their asses and create a class update. Heavy update when, bruh? Like, goddamn. We're gonna be skeletons by the time that shit drops. And whoever did win got another new weapon to their name. In this case, it was a Soldier with the absolutely meta gunboats. It makes me wonder, though, what kind of item would Demo have gotten if he'd won? Huh. Maybe it would have been today's sponsor. Absolutely no one. Let's move on. Anyway, if you thought that was it, there was actually a little bit more. For starters, we got 2 new maps, being one of the best AD maps and best CTF map of the modern day. Then again, the bar for CTF is literally in hell, so yeah. Then there was a propaganda contest where fans could make their own Demo versus Soldier propaganda art to win prizes like one-of-a-kind hats, prize packages, and a lifetime supply of keys given by Gabe Newell himself. Alright, the last one was a lie. But the idea was that the winners of this contest would make TF2 history. So, if you've ever seen the following images before, just know that they came from this. And yet we're still not done. God damn! This is about to be the longest section in the video. I may just have to make 2 parts just because of this one update. There was a whole boatload of achievements that came with this update, and also brought about the game's crafting system, where you could smelt down useless weapons from metal, craft hats and weapons, and more. Now sure, crafting isn't nearly as useful nowadays, but back then it was an incredible new addition. Imagine if we got an update like this nowadays. So yeah, I think that about wraps up for this update, so let's move on to the next one. The Manconomy update. So this update really wasn't that special. I mean, it just added the Manco store. While I personally don't mind it, I can see why some people wouldn't like this addition to the game. Though this also set the basis and the way for the TF2 Community Workshop and for community creations to make their way into the game. Other than those, though, there's not much going for it here. So I would say if it wasn't also 5 whole class updates in one. 5! You thought 2 in 1 from the previous update was good? Well, how about 5 whole classes? We'd be lucky to get even 1 nowadays. In fact, when was Jungle Inferno again? That shit was like, what, 1, 2, 3... 7 years ago! Jungle Inferno released 7 years ago! Do you feel old yet? Because I sure as hell do! So yeah, 5 class updates in 1. We got a ton of new weapons and cosmetics for Spy, Soldier, Sniper, Scout, and Pyro. Not only that, but the ability to paint and rename items was introduced in this update. There was a mini-game, like the dueling game, and more. God damn, we're never gonna see an update like this again, are we? The Uber update. So first, let's talk about the good stuff. If you couldn't tell by the name, this update was primarily a class update for the medic, but it was also a class update for 5 other classes. That's 6 in one update now. Jungle Inferno who, bruh? Get your ass out of here with your measly 1 class update. Anyways, a bunch of new weapons and cosmetics were added for multiple classes, a brand new fan favorite map, a new animation, and much more. But the biggest thing of note with this update was that the game was made free to play. Freedom! As such, the game was given a massive increase in player numbers due to the influx of F2P players. Hunting season had begun for us vets. So yeah, this fact alone is enough to skyrocket this update to one of the best. But with the game going free to play, this also led to a myriad of problems. For one, bots. For another, the addition of Quick Play and Valve servers was the beginning of the end for all the tightly knit community servers veteran players had known for years before. If you've ever wondered why long-time TF2 players seem to have this negative disdain for free-to-play players, know that this update was the root cause. Man versus machine. Do I even need to explain this one? Seriously, do I? I'm not kidding, but I'll explain anyway. A brand new PvE game mode for TF2 where you get to fight off badass killer robots with your friends and use kick-ass upgrades. The mode was super fun and it was free for everyone to play as much as they wanted. You only had to pay when doing tours to get rewards, which then again only cost a single $1 per mission. So a whole new dedicated game mode, a bunch of achievements, hats, maps, 2 whole comics, an animation, and more. I'll also be including Mecha Engine and 2 cities updates here as well, since they're further expansions of MVM. So with all of that combined, yeah, you can see why it's on this list. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching and getting us to 1,000 subs. Please share this video around if you enjoyed it, or consider subscribing for more future content if you haven't already. If you think there are any updates I've missed, be sure to let me know in the comments in case of a potential part 2, because there are some that I'm thinking of as well for that. Love you all, and I shall see you in the next mission, Mercs. Nigus, signing off.